Okay, Chris Fix back here today with Brandon Moseley on our weekly BCS, State of Alabama, and we just had a conversation with agriculture Rick Pate, and now let's turn our eyes to some national news. Brandon, what do you think is going on about going on that Trump Tower protest? I mean, if they tried something like that down here like that, the Southern government would crush that.
Um, I don't understand the new Semitism that's apparently on our college campuses. I mean, the people of Israel were clearly attacked, you know, in their homes, unprovoked on October 7th of 2023. And almost immediately, there were college kids on campuses celebrating the attacks. I mean, it's sickening to me. And then this time, the protest here was because the leader of that protest, who is an immigrant, who is a guest of our country, who's supposed to be here studying, um, was detained by our government for, hey, you're probably not the kind of person we want hanging out here with your behavior and what you, the takeover of Columbia University last year. And then there are well fed, well educated American people, storming Trump Tower and, another location protesting the arrest of this, terrorist sympathizer. Um, I mean,
I mean,
I
just when I think that
don't want to say these people are modern Nazis because, I mean, the left uses that, the right uses that. They call people Nazis and anti-Semites, and I listen to what these people say. I watch their protests. Their rhetoric. I mean, it's hard to accept that in 2025 are pockets of, anti-Semitism at levels we haven't really seen in this country since before World War II.
yeah, I've never seen, I mean, this type of stuff before. I'm looking at yesterday and I'm sitting there trying to, every time I think that the left will come on board and say, okay, this is the right thing to do, they're like, hold my beer, and just shocks me to no end. I'm watching that yesterday thinking, what are y'all? I mean, I could not believe this. Like I said, I wish if that happened here, I mean, they would send the
I mean,
Guardian and
that
crush that.
Khalid character would, I mean, there's 200 countries on this planet, and probably 170 of him, he would either have been deported or he'd be in custody and I'd be doing really bad things to him.
I mean, he's probably, if you don't watch out, they're going to may end up getting sent to Gitmo.
Well, now they actually moved all the migrants out of Gitmo.
Oh, have they? Okay. I must have missed that.
Yeah, there's some legal issues with them being there, so they have relocated most of them either back to their home country. A whole plane load of them went back to Venezuela, or they're in various ICE facilities in Louisiana.
Well, I seen yesterday, they said people were growing impatient because it's not going fast enough. And I was listening about the vice president, and he told, I think, oh, I can't think of her name, to relax, that I know it's not the numbers that we want, but we've still deported what, 38,000. I mean, and the border crossings are down, so it seems like we've
Yeah, the big success has been that illegal border crossings have dropped
we've stopped the
substantially.
hemorrhaging.
Yeah. Um, I'm kind of more in favor of a scalpel rather than a meat cleaver approach. It's like people like Khalid that we know are terrorist sympathizers or are causing trouble or are criminals. I mean, if you're, we get you for two DUIs or, a burglary or you're just homeless or some, issue. Yeah, I kind of think those are the people we need to be like targeting for deportation, going into, a restaurant or a factory and seizing a bunch of people off the line that haven't done anything wrong other than entering the country illegally. And I mean, honestly, the last administration was encouraging people to enter the country illegally. Um, I kind of think those big high profile, just seizing people to seize people, I mean, that I'm not necessarily opposed per se, but I think there's a better way to do it. Yeah, I would like to see more deportations, but we're only into, like 50 days of the Trump deal.
Right.
It was all of February, 10 days in January, and now here we are on the 14th day of March. We've already got rid of 37,000. I
I
mean,
mean,
I think getting 1 million out this year is probably an unattainable goal. But I'm pretty confident that we're moving in the right direction.
speak on kind of another thing the Democrats did that just blows my mind. I think we get some common ground on is the last bill. There was what 0 Democratic senators and I think 1 House member that voted to outlaw boys. Not I'm not gonna call them trans because that's what they are. They're men playing in
Yeah,
women's sports.
I mean, they are men wearing dresses.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
And of course, then
sugarcoat it.
we
They're a
have a
man in a dress.
few, girls wearing suits and have bad haircuts and a little bow tie. Um, yeah, I mean, I, I hate it that we're at a point where I have to say this out loud, but if God made you male, you're a boy, you're a man, you'll grow into a man, you can't change that. You really shouldn't want to change that. Uh, I mean, again, if you say you're a dog, we get you mental health training rather than letting you bark like a dog and run around, on all fours, you know, licking plates. Um, but now, if you say, "Oh, I'm a girl," when you're actually a boy, we find some quack doctor to give you hormones that you shouldn't be taking, and puberty blockers, and and then do weird surgeries to you. Um,
Mutilation.
yeah, I mean, we have mutilated thousands of children for no good reason.
Ugh. I mean, this is satanic. I mean, I can't imagine my reaction if I had a daughter that was playing in those sports, and they put a boy in there to wrestle with her, or compete with her in some kind of. I mean, that's just such an insult to all female athletes out there everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, what Riley Gaines and the other female swimmers had to put up with is just uh, over the top absurd. I think there was some dude in the last Olympics, competing as a woman. Like, no, you're a dude. Whatever medal you got or what world record you set, yeah, that, that's not a woman. You can't, you cannot talk yourself into being a woman. Um, I don't know when we're going to get over this, uh, but this is a bad, I mean,
I mean, I don't, I can't wrap my mind around it. I mean, it just keeps that we
I
were
mean, I'm
talking
old
about
school.
this.
I don't even think two males should marry and, have gay marriage. But, I mean, the Supreme Court
No, I don't either.
disagrees with me. But
No, I don't.
we bowed the knee to the gay rights movement on marriage. And instead of celebrating their victory, then they try to ramrod this transgender agenda nonsense down our throats. Um, you know,
Well, what gets me is they when they had they had this, or you had some people that said they supported a civil union, and that wasn't good enough. And I was like, well, how many of them wanted to go in front of a church and get married in front of a preacher or a priest? I mean, this was just nothing but just a kind of rubbing it in your face to say we have to be
yeah,
married.
I mean, I don't approve of that lifestyle. I mean, the Bible says all you need to say on that. Um, and it's an unnatural lifestyle, and you take it to its logical extreme, and you get stuff like the transgender movement, which, again, boys should not be competing in girl sports. I mean, this shouldn't be. We
Well,
shouldn't
I
even
don't
need
understand.
this legislation, much less that some idiots in Congress, because of, money they get from this special interest, you know, uh, 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 vote against legislation protecting girls in girls' bathroom and girls' sports.
I mean, everything about the Democrats is kind of like contradicts each other. They're remember there's women's health, women's rights. That was a big thing they threw up against Trump, and now they're turning around and just
Now, whoever
doing
thought the
this kind of
Republican Party would be the champion of women's sports?
yeah. I mean, who would have ever thought that?
I mean, you know, after Title IX, I mean, why would we even need a champion of women's sports? Everybody's for girls playing girls in softball or volleyball or, gymnastics.